Maximum partner in brief of ongoing progress work on the Shagamu Lagos Infrastructure
bring all the traffic into this direction.
We are going to work to ensure that it is better during the festival. If we don't do what we need to do now, the road will.
Hello, welcome to another interesting episode of your program Infrastructure Weekly. I am your host, Ajibola Onwuchikwa. On today's episode of the program, we'll as usual be taking you around project sites from the power, housing and work sector. We shall return after this break for the program purpose. Stay tuned.
Coming together of opportunities, and this is what
Infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information on hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
there is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and QTV News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
If you're just joining us, the program is Infrastructure Weekly. We start off today from the housing sector, the site of the National Housing Project site in Ekiti State. The site, which is a part of the National Housing Program pilot phase in 34 states of the Federation, like others, witnessed the start of construction in 2016, but experienced a hiccup after the initial site was declared not good enough, delaying work. Infrastructure Weekly's crew recently visited the site and confirmed that work has commenced. Let's take a listen.
This is the site of the National Housing Program in Ekiti State. The federal government, according to the Controller of Housing, has achieved about 60% completion level of its housing estate in Ado-Ekiti. The Controller, who spoke while conducting the crew of Infrastructure Weekly around the site during a tour of the estate, said it's work in progress. On inspection, the asphalt overlay of the external road was close to completion. Work has also reached advanced stage on the internal road network. The controller said the federal government will make provisions for security of the state and bush clearing.
We have made requisition for that. We have asked them to do that. So we are yet to have that. And the project, as laudable as it is, may be at danger if it is not properly secured. We have some incident of some of our equipment that have been sunk on ground, being vandalized by people. So who are pleading that they should provide the field headquarters with security. And also, if the government can put something like perimeter fencing to the whole estate, it will further enhance the security of the estate. Because once it's fenced, the movement within the estate can be controlled.
One of the contractors working on the road said the work will soon be completed in a couple of months.
This is how far we have gone. The infrastructure roads within the estate is 1.3 kilo. So we have this covers here, 2 sets, bus covers here, to drain away the unwanted, this thing, drainage, whatever, during rainy season, to cut away. And we still have trapezoid drainage here that will carry whatever that is coming within the estate up to that public sewer there. So we have 3 types of roads here. We have type A, type B, and type C. That type A is serving median. It's the one at the entrance when you are entering the estate here. where we are now is the type B. It's wider than type C, in the sense that it's 10.5. While that of type C is the within, the one that is vertical up there within the estate there is type C, 7.3. That's the normal. While the type A is the one that is the widest. It's having median at the middle. So that median, that is where we put the solar street lights. And it has a walkway for the pedestrian to move. So that is all about the roads within. Vertically, by April, this month ending, April ending, I think we're supposed to put everything in shape. This is the major aspect, the most difficult aspect of road is what we are doing now. The moment we start the artwork, just a trickle of an eye, we finish the artwork and the asphalt overlaying. As artwork is just to put the laterite that is granular and spread it over, then and put asphalt over the wearing course, asphalt overlaying the asphalt. So that one, is even easier than the one we are doing now. We have nearly completed the concrete line drain. And the moment we finish, this is the major aspect that we are doing now. The moment we embark in 2 weeks or 3, and let's say in 4 days now to come, we ought to have finished this, remain casting the slab. We only cast the slab, we have the wall now is completed. The contractors are competent, and the federal government is doing its best.
The supervisors in the ministry also spoke on the development of the site.
Well, we have 70 units. We have the 1-bedroom semi-detached bungalow comprising of 3 blocks of it, 6 units of it, 2 units on 1 block. So we have the 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow of about 24 units. Then we have 3-bedroom semi-detached bungalow. That one is 16 units.
Work started on the site in 2017 after the initial site was rejected as unsuitable for the project.
Well, 4 contractors have delivered. That is about 16 units out of the 24 units of 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalow. Then we have the condominium building comprising of 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom. For that, they are about 24 units. The 1-bedroom of it is 4 units. 2-bedroom is 16 units, and the 3-bedroom is 4 units too. So when we had everything together, it will give us 70 units.
As at now, we are almost through with our drain here, and immediately we are through with our drain, we are starting our artworks.
The federal government has reiterated its commitment to providing affordable houses to help in bridging the nation's housing deficit and also provide houses to all classes of Nigerians, especially those who are not salary earners or in government employ. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, disclosed this in Abuja. He said the task of providing houses to all Nigerians, irrespective of employers, is a task that must be done.
Do you know about the ugly trend of unoccupied houses in the Federal Capital Territory? This is because the houses are either not accessible, acceptable, or affordable. However, shelter cannot be looked at in isolation. Any response must consider the settlement or the context in which Nigerians are sheltered. This is the consideration of the federal government as it strives to provide an acceptable and affordable housing economy to Nigerians through the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria.
The Federal Mortgage Bank site is a different concept. Federal Mortgage Bank not only lends money to people who seek to acquire homes, they also lend money to developers to build. So that's one of the development estate finance loans and what it has produced. A total of 218, I believe, single dwelling apartments comprising 3, 2 and 1 bedroom apartments. I think 70 of them have been subscribed under the National Housing Fund. So that means that people have been granted mortgage loans to acquire those homes. The balance, the Federal Mortgage Bank now wants to test the rent to own scheme using the balance. So it's 218 minus 70, and if you work out the balance, that will be rent to own scheme for people who cannot afford mortgages, who want to pay rent. So that's what you get there.
The 218 units of houses funded by the bank through the federal government's Ministerial Pilot Housing Scheme, Phase 1, consisting of 3, 2 and 1 bedroom apartments located in Gwagwalada area of Abuja, is benefiting many Nigerians through massive job creation.
Rent to home certainly is targeted first at low-income earners. So are mortgages and the type of buildings that you see there, because the beneficiaries are people who contribute to the National Housing Fund. One of the things we also want to do is to see how we can expand the National Housing Fund to include people who do not work in government, but who earn a living, traders, carpenters, transporters, who want to save money so that they can use it to acquire a housing unit for themselves and their families.
In order to sustain housing development in Nigeria, Minister of Power Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, emphasizes that the National Housing Fund and Rent-to-Own initiative will be extended to non-government employees to facilitate affordable and acceptable houses for low-income earners.
The Securities and Exchange Commission has disclosed its readiness to help in bridging the nation's infrastructure gap through the issuance of the Green Bonds. The Acting Director General of the Commission, Mary Udok, who was speaking in Lagos at the launch of the Green Bonds issuance rules, said the bonds will be a veritable tool in addressing the issues surrounding the nation's financing infrastructure projects. She added that Green Bonds were specifically created to help in financing infrastructure with positive environmental and climate benefits. If you're just joining us, the program is still Infrastructure Weekly. For comments, inquiries and feedback, you can get in touch with us on any of the social media handles showing on your screen. Join us after this break for more on the program. Stay tuned.
Dear lottery operator, you've done a remarkable job so far getting into a business that has been highly criticized for many years. You've done well to uphold your credibility and boost confidence in the business. Kudos to you. This is just to remind you of the rules of the game as prescribed by the National Lottery Regulatory Commission. Gaming is not for persons under 18. Underage gaming is prohibited. Report illegal operators to the Commission, and also always remember the regulatory job of the Commission. Whatever your category, lotteries, sport betting, promos, scratch cards, games, it is the duty of the Commission to protect lottery players and the operators, as well as promote transparency and accountability. Licensees are also expected to play their part, which includes remittances to the National Lottery Trust Fund. For more information, please go to natlotteregcom.gov.ng. The National Lottery Regulatory Commission. Lottery the right way.
If you're just joining us, the program is still Infrastructure Weekly. For comments, feedback and inquiries, you can get in touch with us on Facebook, Infrastructure Weekly, and on Twitter, Infra_Weekly. We now move to the power sector with the news that the federal government has concluded expansion works on the Alimosho transmission substation in the Lagos region, which has seen an expansion in the capacity of the station to 120 MVA and an increase in the capacity of the station and supply to the adjoining areas it serves.
The moves to raise the capacity of the national grid to get more power to Nigerians have continued apace with the Transmission Company of Nigeria, adding to the capacity of the Alimosho 132 kVA power station. The expansion capacity of the station, according to the Systems Operations Engineer Chiamaka Adenira, is to ensure that the station serves the areas it supplies better. She said the expansion was completed in late 2018 as part of the ramming up exercise embarked upon by the Transmission Company of Nigeria.
Right now we have 2 by 100 MVA and 1 by 30 MVA 132/33 kV transformers. This is the T3 newly installed in 2018. It's 100 MVA 132/33 kV transformer. Power transformer we have here. So this is the new improvement we have here now. This transformer now has 3 outgoing feeders under it. So we have 3 outgoing 33 kV feeders under it. We have Ekoro 33 kV feeder. We have Towa 33 kV feeder and Adinyo 33 kV feeder. The total capacity of the station is 230 MVA.
She said the newly installed and commissioned transformers have brought great improvements. She added that it has increased the supply capacity of the station to consumers around the axis.
We now have supply more. These feeders now have supplied more. It has supplied to more customers now. So now, because this Adinyo is feeding the whole of this estate now, then Ekoro is feeding Ekoro suburb environment and part of Agege. Then Towa is also feeding from here, from after this Gowan down to NYSC towards the Yanokbaja. The NYSC camp there. So that's where the supply has radiated out to, and it's a very big improvement, and we are very grateful for that.
She said that the new addition have helped in enhancing the safety procedure which the TCN is famed for.
Still staying with the power sector, the new Abeokuta Power Transmission Station, which was originally conceived in the year 2012, is now at 95% completion and will soon be completed and up and running to provide succor and relief to the old Abeokuta Power Transmission Station, which was also recently upgraded by the federal government of Nigeria through the Transmission Company of Nigeria. The Assistant General Manager of the company for the Pakpalanto sub-region of the company took Infrastructure Weekly through the features of the new station. Let's take a listen.
This is the new Abeokuta Power Station, originally conceived in the year 2012 and awarded same year. The project was abandoned following non-availability of funds, but on assumption of office of the Buhari administration in 2015 and after the audit, it was reactivated in 2017 and is now at 95% completion. The station, according to the Assistant General Manager of the Papalanto region of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, has a capacity of 120 MVA with more space for expansion inbuilt for the future. He added that consumers in Abeokuta and other parts of Ogun State will soon start benefiting from the station once it is energized.
This station is actually called New Abeokuta 132 kV station, which actually falls under the jurisdiction of Papalanto sub-region. This station was actually conceived several years ago, about I think 2012 to be precise, and the implementation and the whatever was seriously delayed up to when the Buhari administration came into power, and the project came into life again some 8 months ago, and I can tell you it's about 95% completed now. The old Abeokuta was actually a 90 MVA station, which this present government has even increased to 150 MVA capacity. And this station, as it is now, is about 120 MVA capacity, which shows the determination and the belief of this present government to actually get the energy to drive the industries and the economy of the nation.
He added that the new Abeokuta Power Station will help relieve the workload of the old Abeokuta Power Station. He further assured Nigerians that uninterrupted power supply is not far from the achievement of the country.
It's going to be a massive benefit. It's going to relieve quite a number of the loads at Old Abeokuta. Places like Owode-Egba, places like Bafo, places like Bafo, Mowe, even some parts of Shagamu and some parts of Kobakbe would really benefit from this. If you look at the structure, you can see some of the distribution have started radiating feeders out of the place, so it's about 95% completed. Electricity is one of the main priorities of this present administration, and I can tell you in a matter of months there will be massive supply to all those places I mentioned.
Join us after this break as we hit the home stretch. Stay tuned.
Coming together of opportunities, and this is what
infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information on hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
There is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and QoTV News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
We hit the home stretch today with the thoughts of the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo on the next level development and provision of infrastructure expressed as the convocation lecturer at the 50th convocation ceremonies of the University of Lagos. The Vice President who reiterated the commitment of the Buhari administration to the development of the nation's infrastructure to help power economic diversification and national development said it is one decision that will involve several elements that will become apparent as time goes on.
Hard infrastructure is where we focus on economically strategic roads, rail, power, ports across the country. Roads and rails linking important commercial centers are prioritized. As of today, in 2 budget cycles, we have spent an aggregate of 2.7 trillion naira on capital, which is the highest ever in the history of the country. We have recently commissioned, and I'm sure many would have followed that, the Lagos-Abeokuta-Ibadan end of the new standard gauge Lagos-Kano Railway. That rail originates from the Apapa port, which means that very soon cargo will be moving from the ports by rail out to the hinterland and of course out all the way to the north. This will significantly ameliorate the congestion that we're experiencing in the port. Expanding the facilities of the ports was always going to be a very important issue. Our port has the capacity for 34 million metric tons of cargo, but today it does 86 million metric tons of cargo, several times higher than its capacity. And so we're currently dredging the Warri port as part of the effort to reduce the congestion at the Lagos port. In Lagos, we're also working on the private sector-led port, the Lekki port, and also the Badagry port has attracted significant foreign capital and interest. In Abuja, after almost 15 years, we've completed and commissioned the Abuja Light Rail project, starting from the airport to the city center. Similarly, we completed and commissioned the Abuja-Kaduna Railway. The Itakpe-Warri Railway has also been completed, linking the iron ore deposits to the Warri port. Here in the southwest of Nigeria, work is going on, as many would know, on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, the Lagos-Ota-Abeokuta Expressway, the Ikorodu-Shagamu Road, and the Ogbomoso-Ilorin Road. The contract for the Lagos Expressway, the Lagos Badagry Expressway, was awarded about 2 months ago, and work should begin very shortly.
And that's all on this week's episode of the program. Join us again for another interesting episode. Until then, continue to support the infrastructure development agenda of the Buhari administration. Also, protect all public utilities. And lastly, pay your tax. Join us again next week. I am Ajibola Omuchukwa. Bye for now.
Bring all the traffic into this direction.
We are going to work to ensure that the better